Hey, I'm just going to show you how I animate stuff because people have been asking, and I don't know, I feel like a bit of a disappointment when I say no, I don't use Flash, or no, I don't use this animation software. I literally do it like this really basic bitch way. Now, I looked it up to see if other people did it, and some people actually make it look amazing, and I'm just here like, oh yeah, I'm a basic bitch, I can do this. So, how I animate. Paint tool SAI Vegas Pro. Neither of which are really aimed to be animation programs. SAI is an art program which I really love to use. I use it all the time. Like, Paint tool SAI is my bitch. And to edit videos I usually use Vegas, so it just made more sense to me to do it this way. So I've recorded a little basic animation test that I did, and I'm just going to be talking over that and hopefully not stumbling with my words. And so what we're going to want a new document on SAI. I mean, I guess you could do this on Photoshop, but I'm sure there's things of Photoshop, I was going to say episodes of Photoshop, yeah, episodes of Photoshop that allows animation. I know someone has asked if I use Adobe After Effects, but I don't. So what we're going to want an underlayer. This is, I guess it's called an onion layer. Shrek likes onions. And this is just going to be deleted. It's just like a basic guide to show where my lines are. When I animate, I use 2 underlayers, which is fair enough. I use like 4 or 5 if I'm doing like a still picture. And I'm just gonna be very basic. Normally people like to show pictures that like make animations of balls bouncing. As much as I love balls, I decided to go for a laughing animation, which, how I do it, I mean, I've done it a few ways now in like the animation D-sandwiches and deceit. So I'm just gonna use one of them, the two frame animation, simple. When I draw people, I like to have a few features on there, so like this is me that I'm drawing. For myself, I usually do really thick eyebrows and the facial piercing that I've got on my lip, so just to give like the characters, well, the people a bit of character and shit like that. See, I'm doing the lines here, and I would recommend, if you do want to do it this way, try to get all the lines to join up. It's just easier to fill the colour in than worry about it. The only thing that I don't do that for is the mouth, because you can see I've always got that little gap there. I like it. A few months ago on Tumblr, someone was just like, I like it when you do the heart mouths, and I'm just like, heart mouths for everyone. That's just a thing that I like. I think they look adorable. Yep, I tend to do the face on a different layer as well, just it makes moving like the eye and eyebrows a bit easier than if like everything was joined on the hair layer and that. And then I just merged them together. So we got the line out there. Now let's colour this bitch. Although normally when I do this, I do the line layer first, then I put it onto Vegas and just check how it looks, just in case it looks a bit weird, because once the colour's on, it's a lot more complicated to change than if it's just changing the lines, like if something's too big and that. And yep, there's me. I don't normally focus too much on like shading and details and that, but because I've got like blonde in my hair, I want the whole world to know. It's like, hey, look at my hair. So yeah, this is just unnecessary, considering in any other animation I haven't bothered with shading at all. So I mean, maybe that's something that I'm going to learn myself next, how shading works. When I did watch the tutorials, there was a girl who did the shading, and hers looks really nice, and that mine's just basic in comparison. But I have only animated like 3 things now. And don't forget to colour in my facial piercing. And I always give my teeth like a bit of a grey, dirty look because my teeth aren't perfect and everyone else has like beautiful teeth in comparison. So you want to make a new folder for this because some animations go on for ages, and like if I tried to put all the animations in the folder which is just the basic sketchy things, then I'm going to get confused, even though I have them all on date, the date that they were created. But it just makes life easier. When you save it, you want to save it as a save it as a transparent file, so it just makes it easier to add backgrounds and shit later on. Okay, so now with this one, I create a new layer with the same lines. See, it's the same lines and I just change them, although sometimes I do sort of like completely just go for a new drawing, but this way it just makes life easier, and because all I'm doing is making the mouth a bit smaller and making the shoulders go up, because when people laugh they sort of have that shaky shoulders thing. Well, in the anime they do anyway. And even though this is sort of a ha 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 laugh, which everyone knows I don't do, I just have that sort of that sort of breaks the fucking thing. I don't know, every time I do it and I'm editing Pokemon I always have to turn down my laugh, my stupid little laugh, because it always makes the bar go red and it's just like, oh, why am I like this? And then if I laugh too much then I just go silent and then I'm just there like breathing. So we'll just pretend that's what this is. And now we're going to want to start a new Vegas. I just use whatever it was on there to begin with, but the 19 whatever by 1080 is, it seems to look alright on YouTube in that. And you want to load up the frames that you got. I obviously realised that I need a white background because, I don't know, I just have like a white background as the basic, and if I want to add any more backgrounds, which I did record for in this video, so you get to see what I did for that, just add backgrounds. But I find Vegas is an easy program to use because you can sort of, I don't know, I think it's back in my Windows Media Player days when I used to make Yu-Gi-Oh! AMVs to like really dumb songs and like shipping and stuff, then that just sort of is like familiar and it is good to me. I mean, people can use Flash. I would probably recommend using an actual animation thing. My problem with them is the cheap ones, the free ones, they don't work for me that well. Like, they're just not, I don't know, they look complicated, and then there's like the really expensive ones which I can't afford because I'm a poor as shit person. I mean, I clean for a living, so you know. Yeah, see here I sort of noticed that I think I was going too fast, and yeah, because, oh no, now here's where I'm starting to show you what I did before. I need to slow this bit down, I've realised. So I'm gonna load up some of these ones that I did for the previous animation I made. You should go watch it. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of frames here, and I'm an idiot who loaded them backwards, so we're gonna just pop them all together. So as you can see, it's sort of a laugh animation. This one's more complicated because his arms are showing and mine, on the one that I just did, mine didn't. And there's actual arm movements here. Now I've got to say, I'm really pleased with how these look. Each arm animation has like 3 frames. So like when his arms go up, 3. When his arms cross, 3. And even though that's kind of basic, I could have added way more frames, but it actually runs quite nice. I quite like it. And so just add in more frames here to make it a bit... There we go. See that he's laughing, then he's crossing his arms. He's saying stuff as well, and there was more frames in the thing, I think, because he was speaking, but then here I don't need to show you that. So I'm also going to put a background to this. Like, I want to just pick a basic thing which doesn't move. Well, it should move, but it doesn't. So we'll take this one. Yep. Yeah, see, now you can just put that behind him, and yeah, I put the opacity down as well. There we go. See that he's just like laughing in front of them, and to make it move, which I made a mistake with this one first, so just bear with me and my mistakes, because I opened them in the wrong order and I just left them in that order. Don't go like this. Yeah, I realised my mistake once I play it back. Just watch it. Yeah, see, that's the wrong order because it doesn't run smoothly like it did. So I just delete all them and just start again and put them in the 1, 2, 3. I find it, when naming stuff on here, I find it's easier to like sort of name like the thing that's going on, like that's called like lose 1, 2, 3, so with the numbers it sort of helps, but then you know what it is in the picture when you're like opening the files and that. There we go. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go back and put the lose animation behind myself as well, just to make it look like I'm laughing at people who lose, but I lose all the time, so you know. And I like to have them like overlapping each other by 1, and then it just runs a bit smoother. There we go. So yeah, that's how I animate stuff. It's pretty simple, and when you do it once it starts to get a bit easier, and every time I do make an animation I'm going to be planning to like be better than myself, if that makes sense. Like the first one I focused on mouth movements, the second one I did some arm movements and laugh animations. Who knows what the third one's going to be.